Victorian times, locomotive design has come a long way. Some engines stand out from the rest, ancient or modern, large or small. They are the great trains, classic designs which define an era and capture the imagination. Since 1836, the dramatic mountains of North Wales have been home to the Ffestiniog Railway. At first, horses and gravity served the line. Then, in 1863, Charles Spooner commissioned the first steam engines from George England of London. The Ffestiniog Railway became the first public narrow gauge railway in the world and prospered for over a century. In 1988, the railway held a special gala weekend starring one of the original locomotives. This is Prince, one of the world's oldest steam locomotives still in service, resplendent in her red company livery. The Ffestiniog was built to carry slate from the quarries at Blaenau Ffestiniog to the sea at Porthmadog. Jet traffic slumped between the wars, and in 1946 the line closed. Just 8 years later, restoration began, and finally the whole line was reopened for passengers. Prince is a 2-foot gauge, 4-wheeled, 4-coupled saddle tank with a separate coal tender, built at the cost of £800. She has 2-foot diameter wheels and a 4-foot 6-inch wheelbase. The side tanks were unusual for the period, but helped with traction by adding to the adhesive weight. In service, Prince hauled 50-ton trains up the line at an average speed of 10 or 11 miles per hour. Part of the secret of her success was the high steam pressure of 120 pounds per square inch. And another gala celebration. At Milford Yard, Prince prepares for the day's duties. In the early years of the railway, the empty wagons were pulled up by horses and the loaded trains rolled down on their own by gravity. Today, one of these historic gravity workings is recreated on the section between Milford and Gwyndy. But first, Prince must pull the wagons up the line. The brakemen clamber aboard as Prince waits for possession of the line. coupled to descend Windy Bank alone. Speed is controlled by the brakeman who perch on the sides. Prince follows at a discreet distance behind. Having finished with the wagons, Prince is assigned to a shuttle working with Mary Ann, one of the first diesel locomotives built by Motorrail in 1917. The Great Western Railway had a long tradition of multi-purpose tank locomotives. Many variations of saddle tanks and pannier tanks were produced at Wolverhampton and Swindon round the turn of the century. Eventually, there were well over 1,000 examples in service. The first of the 5700 class emerged from the North British and the Swindon Works in 1929, produced under the direction of the Chief Mechanical Engineer, Mr. Charles Collett. The 5700 class was an immediate success. Here, on the Keighley and Worth Valley Railway, is number 7752, built for the Great Western in 1930 by North British. This became the standard Great Western pannier tank, a tremendously versatile engine, and Britain's most numerous steam locomotive. By 1950, no less than 863 had been built. The Keighley and Worth Valley is a short preserved branch line in the Yorkshire Pennines, typical of the type of line which the locomotive would have worked with the Great Western. By the early 1990s, number 7752 had returned to Great Western Territory and was working out of Buckfastleigh on the South Devon Railway. These pannier tanks were very powerful for their size, free-running and with excellent acceleration. They are ideal for these short lines, and many preserved examples are still in regular service all over the country. Haworth Yards, back at the Worth Valley. After some years in preservation, number 5775 was in need of a major overhaul. This was one of the original members of the class, built in Swindon in 1929. The original boiler was beyond economic repair, and so a replacement was obtained from the famous Barry scrapyard. $5775 was sold to the London Underground and acquired by the Worth Valley in the late 1960s. Merlin, a Hudswell Clark diesel shunter, pulled the frames out into the yard so that they could be married to the new boiler. The frames had also been overhauled. This operation provided an unusual view of the motion. Next, there had to be a thorough boiler test. Cornhill Insurance Inspector Ian Stocks explains the process.
We'll take the boiler up very gently to its normal working pressure, perhaps just set the safety valve for a few seconds, and then let it quietly cool off again before it returns to its frames, and then we will obviously do another steaming test then.
As the boiler pressure rises, volunteers wait for the safety valves to lift. Test over, the result is announced.
Ian Stocks, Cornhill Boilerman's passed it A-OK. Just got a bit of sorting out to do, and then boiler's going back in frame as soon as we can. What be long till it's running again?
Right, quickly.
5775 also starred in the 1970 screen classic, The Railway Children. 20 years later, the pannier tank was restored to a unique film livery as the Worth Valley staged a dramatic reenactment.
Thank you.
You have to excuse me, old man, because I'm very busy, because you see, Station Master's got to leave about his haircut and Perks must be about it.
Perks? Who's Perks?
Me, sir, I'm Perks.
You must be Roberta. And Philip. And Peter, of course. I'm very pleased to meet you all.
A few months later, after further repairs, the pannier tank is tested on the load up the line. When British Rail abandoned steam, some of the pannier tanks were sold to the London Transport Executive for use on permanent way and engineering trains. L99, originally number 7715, was one of these London Transport pannier tanks, now preserved at the Buckinghamshire Railway Centre. L99 was built for the Great Western in 1930 by Kerr Stewart and Company of Stoke-on-Trent. One of a batch of 25, she cost £3,160, and for most of her life she worked on China clay and other freight traffic in Cornwall. After 26 years in preservation, she's now restored to mainline running and appears on regular steam on the Met specials. The Great Western Society operates number 3738 from its preserved railway centre at Didcot. 3738 was a later model, built in 1937. Modifications included an improved cab and a top feed to